2.
Hi, this is Keith and I'm with Tack House GSDs and this is Jaro. Today we're going to talk a little bit about leashes and proper handling of leashes. As you can see here, I have a 6-foot leather leash. There are also round leashes and the flat material like things, which I find are a little more problematic because they hurt your hands if you decide to pull on the leash. I like the 6-foot leash, gives me more control of the dog, or you can use a 3-foot leash. And then when you start doing long range stuffs, long downs, long sits, you put a 10-foot leash on a dog. And that usually doesn't need to be an expensive leash. But these are fairly cheap, they're comfortable, they're durable. So, hi Jaro, says I like leashes. Okay, so depending upon your style of training, and as every trainer will say, what all trainers agree upon are that all trainers train differently. So I train different ways. I train with food only, positive. I also train with pinch collars, choke collars. So there's different ways to train. And this way, I find it, if you're going to be using pressure on a dog, to use a leash, a leather leash. And since we're talking about leashes, retractable leashes, I highly recommend you stay away from those because you don't have control of your dog. And then when you let that leash out 10-15 feet, you go and bother other dogs, and some people don't like that. So just keep that in mind if you use them. Alright, so, okay, now we're going to do a little bit of exercises here. Alright, so first thing we'll do is just a regular walking on the leash with Jaro. Like I said, well, and I'll touch on different ways that to hold leashes if you're using food or a toy for a reward. So there's different ways. I usually like to keep the leash rolled up a little bit in my hand, make it easier, shorten it up a little bit. But also I'm using, on my left hand, I'm using that more as a correction or as the main putting pressure on the dog. Just a little bit of pressure on the dog, doesn't take much. And this hand is collecting the leash just in case the dog decides he wants to run or something, so you still got a grip and the dog is not going to go far. So that's why sometimes 3-foot leashes are good if you have small hands. So, all right, ready to go? Ready to go? Foos! So I'm going to go ahead and correct and pull just a little bit. So I'm pulling just a little bit. So you can see I have all the control right here. Good boy. Foos. Alright, so he's doing pretty good there. So this right here is just mainly keeping control of the leash in this hand, and you're using this as, you can use this as a kind of a rudder, if you will, to correct the dog, just hold pressure on the dog so he doesn't stray away from you. Alright, so the next thing is if you're using a reward based, so as you can see what I've done is the balls, or if your food pouch, because your food pouch, if you're training with treats or reward, your food pouch will be right here. So I'm going to use the ball instead. So, but you need this hand empty in order to keep the dog focused on your hand, or if you want the dog looking up at you while you walk, or to reward the dog because he's behaving himself. And that's Braxis in the background barking at a bird, so in case you hear that. Alright, so as we go, alright, foos. So as you can see here, I shortened up on the leash so he can't go far. And then, yes, good. So I still have control of this. Alright, ouse. Ouse. Alright, so here we go again. I have the ball up here. I want him to look up at me. So, as we go, foos. So he's looking up at me, and you can still correct crossbody if you need to. So that means you just shorten up on the leash. So you have to cross your hand a little on your body. So we just continue to do this. I still have control of him. The leash is dangling, so that's why sometimes if you're stepping on a leash, a 3-foot leash would work too. But he's right here. Foos. Still have control, still give him a little correction now and then, just because he's reaching forward a little bit. Yes, good boy. All right, good boy. That's a good boy. Still having control of the leash. All right. Quick recap here. So remember, leashes, get something that's comfortable, get something that's going to last a while, get something that's comfortable in your hands as well. All right? So, and just remember too, if the dog is foraging forward, you still have this hand and this hand to keep pressure on the dog to keep him from going forward. So, Foos. I don't know if he'll do it because he's going to be right here. Foos. And of course he didn't do it. He was actually behaving. So just remember, get comfortable with your leash. Practice this stuff because it is important. Keeping that leash right here and crossing your body with it, it's a little awkward, so you got to learn to walk a little bit funny on that when keeping your treat pouch here. So if you're treating your dog or if you're using the ball as a reward. And remember, always have fun.